Recording is on.
Alright, so our recording has started. I hope we're able to attempt yesterday's activity, the assignment given to us that Abraham dropped on the group chats. It's something explanatory and we've done it in the class. It has to do with product idea and validation. So, how many of us attempted the activity? Can anyone? Tofumi, can you hear me? Please, can anyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Tofumi might be your mic. Or your connection. Can you leave the call and join again? Okay. So did we attempt the activity or we didn't do anything yesterday? I expected us to use our class section yesterday for that activity. So no one attended it.
Yes,
Adedamola, you did.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Aside Adedamola, who else attempted this? Is it just Adedamola, Abraham, Martha, Babatunde, Tofumi? What's happening? No one is responding except Adedamola on this call. Are we on this call at all? Like, are we present? Let me know.
Hello, good morning. I'm present.
Okay, good morning, Babatunde. Did you attempt yesterday's activity?
No, I didn't.
Hmm. Abraham, same late for the week. Did you attempt the activity? Martha, did you attempt? So for me as well. Yeah, I think Tofumi is struggling with her connection. Martha, you can use the chat box if you're not able to speak. So we did not attempt. Just added Damola. That's too bad. Okay. All right, no problem. What's today? Today is Wednesday. Thursday, Friday. Okay, we'll still look at it. It's very important. Okay, yes, please, Martha, work on it today. It's very important that we do all of these assignments. Why it's important is we'll review. You know, when we do the assignments, we normally review on the call as well, so that we figure out what our mistakes are, what we can do better. So that's why it's very, very important that we do all of those assignments and all the previous assignments that we've given. We've always checked it, reviewed it, corrected, then we've gone back to make modifications. So it's very important. I will still be looking at the assignments either today or tomorrow. So please, if you have not attempted it, kindly do so. And I will still be explaining better to us. Probably, maybe we don't understand the assignment, and that might be the reason why we've not done it. So yeah, after the class, I would still proceed to brief us. We've done it before, and we even have a practical one. We have a practical one I showed everybody in class last week. So I can still show us the practical one that we have done in class before so that you can also use it as sample for your own assignments. All right. So that being said, we'll move straight to the main business of today. On Monday we talked about products execution and delivery, and we talked about the first part, which is the execution. And I said we're going to wrap up the section in our next class, which is a products delivery side of things. So I'll be sharing my screen shortly, and I will be just skimming through for the purpose of those that were not in the last class. So we will not be delving so much. It's just we quickly skimming through. Okay. All right. So I'm sharing my screen now, and I believe we can see my screen. If otherwise, you can please react. All right, so we talked about product execution last week, on Monday. We have execution and delivery, and we talked about what product execution is. When we talk about product execution, we said it's the day-to-day process of turning a product plan into a working feature. So it's not enough that you have your ideas, but execution is implementation. You can call it implementation. It's you trying to bring your idea to life, and it focuses on doing the right work at the right time and in the right way. So execution answers how are we building this product. So you should always know that when you talk about product execution, you're looking at how are we going to build the solution? How are we going to solve this problem? You already know the solution for the problem, but what's the features that the solutions are going to include? How are you going to solve it? So we also talked about why product management matters, and why it matters is because features are delivered on time. When you have a good execution, it ensures that your features are delivered on time and the quality is maintained. The team also stays aligned and risks and blockers are handled quickly. So poor execution will lead to delays, reworks, team frustration, then broken users experience when your execution is bad. So it will affect your user, it will affect stakeholders as well as the user. In fact, everybody involved would be affected when it comes to bad execution. Now we talked about the key activities in product execution, and there are the sprint planning. A couple of times on the call, we've talked about sprints in an agile or scrum environment where we have the sprint planning. So we have writing user stories and tasks, and we talked about user stories, and each and every one of us has also gave an instance, even though I have not really seen it in our PRD, and that's also part of the assignments. Please, for the PRDs that we have reviewed, I've made my modifications. Sorry, I've reviewed and said we should go back and make modifications. So please, that's also going to be part of what we'll be treating. And for those of us not that have refused to submit our PRD assignment, please and please, I beg us, like I said, it is not optional. This PRD assignment is a mandatory assignment that everybody must do, because it is the product owner's or the product manager's responsibility to to write PRD. Nobody will write it for you. So if you do not practicalize writing that PRD now, how do we know that you are very good? That you are good in it. How do you explain to your engineers what you are going to do? So yeah, we've reviewed for everybody that have submitted, we have reviewed except for Babasunde. And why we did not review his assignments was because it was not on that call that day. So we will be reviewing it when it's available on the call. So but aside that, those of us that are
Thank you.
taking us, I said something.
I said thank you. Thank you
Okay.
for waiting for me.
You're welcome. So those of us that have not submitted, please and please, it is very mandatory. It's a mandatory assignment. In fact, in my product management class, the build up it's really trying, because the product courses I've taken, they didn't even teach us how to write PRD. It's the time you start figuring it out and making your own research. So yeah, it's very important. And if you, I think I've shared the practical PRD we wrote in the class. So if you still want me to reshare, I'll reshare so that we can get insight from that to write our own PRD. Because you always see it in everything. Look at this now, writing user stories and tags. So it's part of it. Then daily stand-ups. I told us about daily stand-up in an agile environment. When you have your sprints, you must always have your daily stand-up. Your stand-up must not exceed 15 minutes. Minimum of 5 minutes and maximum of 15 minutes. So you don't engage in a stand-up that is more than 15 minutes. Then we have the development and the design work, and we also have the testing and quality assurance. So you have to test with your quality assurance team. So those are the activities, and also removing blockers as early as possible. So these are the activities that are guided. When it comes to these activities are guided by Scrum and Agile framework, and they are the key activities in your product execution. So look at product execution as implementation. So we looked at role of product manager in execution. Now you might say, shebi the execution is for the engineers to execute. What is my own? No, you have a role to play in execution. And execution as PM, you need to clarify your requirements and prioritization. And that was what we also did in the PRD review. For those of us that were present in the PRD review, that we made the class look like the stakeholders and the PM, and each of us that have written the PRD came on board and started explaining the PRD to us so that we understand. And that is what you have to do as a PM when it comes to execution. You need to clarify your requirements and priorities. You don't tell your engineers to build sign off first and they end up building reset password. So you need to clarify your requirements. Don't assume they understand your requirements. Then also answer questions. The questions were asked also during our periodic practical classes, which I'm impressed the way the PMs, aspiring PMs, potential PMs, the way we answered the questions as well. Since we wrote the requirements, we should be able to answer every question that has to do with it. Then trade-off decisions as well is part of the things that we need to do in execution. You trade off things for some other things, so you need to also be not be in loop, but be in charge of that as well. Then you also ensure that the team focuses on the most valuable work. You ensure that they focus on what is valuable to them rather than going to do unnecessary things. So the product manager defines what and why. Then I said not how. So you need to define what they are building and why they are building this. This helps the engineering team to stay aligned. So then we talked about the definition of done. Definition of done is a shared agreement. I said definition of done differs. Your done now can be, you might want to do a sign up, and your definition of done is in as much as customer is able to input their email and password, then they are able to log in. That is your own definition of done. Another person definition of done for sign up can be user should be able to input username, put their password, then uh verify. There should be a two-factor authentication. They should verify their account before they are able to log in. So it's differs. So your definition of done now is a shared agreement. You might not be completely done, but your own definition of done can be, we want to just do this. Not like we are completely done, but our own definition of done for this version should be do ABC first and send. So that is why here, when it comes to execution in product management, definition of done is usually an agreement on which feature is considered complete. So this may include your future work as expected. If you say, okay, this is how I want it to behave. So once it behaves like that, that's your definition of done. Your design is approved, definition of done. Your test is passed, no critical bugs. Not like there are no bugs. Even on the everyday applications that we use, there are bugs. But when they are not critical bugs, then you are done, ready for release. That's when you've checked everything and you look like, oh, okay, we can release this application. That's also another definition of done. So this help to prevent almost done work. That's the essence. So instead of having almost done, you see that this is completely done according to your shared agreement. Now we look at metrics. How can we measure our execution? We can measure our execution by the sprint completion rate. And that's why I said we have sprint retrospective. It's a ceremony or it's a gathering where you complete your sprints. You looked at, oh, you successfully achieved this milestone. How many backlogs were you able to do on this sprint? How many are you carrying over? So when you look at the number of completed your completion rate, it's also how you're able to measure if your implementation is successful or if it's on an average or if it is poor. Then the cycle time. Okay, what's the cycle time to complete a sprint? How many cycles did you use to complete this feature or functionality? That's also another way to measure success. Now, the number of block tasks. How many tasks are blocked that you had to go to another task because there is a dependency, there is a blocker. How many bugs do you have? Did you go in to create 5 features and you end up having 50 bugs? So that's another metrics you should also use to check your success rate. Then another thing is so this metrics helps you to improve how it helps you to improve how your engineering team are building. So when you use this metrics, you're able to measure that, oh, okay, building so far is this. You can get an analytics of or an analysis of what your success rate looks like. So yes, today we're going to look at product delivery. We've talked about product execution. The first phase is execution, the second phase is the delivery. Now, product delivery is the process of releasing working products features to users and ensuring they deliver value. Now, we talked about execution. Execution is implementing it. Now, delivery is you releasing that work that you have executed as a working product in terms of features now to your users while ensuring that these things deliver value. Now, an example is the Snap Cook. The Snap Cook idea. Okay, you want to build a Snap Cook platform application where people can snap their ingredients and get suggestions of what to cook. That's the ideation stage. Now you start with your execution. Your executions are, okay, I want to build feature one and upload ingredients feature, core feature, upload ingredients feature, then view recipe feature. That's your definition of done. So once those two features are completed, then you want to deliver it to the market as a working product to the end users now. So you ship out, you launch this product, you deploy this product to live. That's your product delivery. So it's more of you delivering your features, your product features to your end users while ensuring that they get value. So whatever it is that you are delivering has to have value. So your delivery will answer, how does this feature reach users safely and successfully? So your delivery will now be, how can tertiary institution students have access to Snapcook and delivers effectively and successfully what the product goal is. So that's you pushing the application to them. So now, simply put, now let's put the two together: product execution and product delivery. So product execution and delivery is the process of taking a product from an idea or an approved plan and turning it into usable working experience in the hands of real customers. Now, when you talked about product execution and delivery, think of from that moment when you have the product idea that this is what I want to build, to when your ideas are validated, you have an approved plan already, to you now trying to turn them into usable working experience. And that's where your execution comes in place, your implementation. You start breaking it down into features, start breaking it down into smaller works that your engineers would have to build for you. Now to the stage where you now release it into the hands of real user, and that is the delivery. You deliver it into the hands of the user. So look at product delivery and execution as from your ideation stage to your implementation stage down to the plate of the real users, the real customers now. So it is where your strategy becomes reality. You've cited the problem. There is no product without a problem. Now, there is a product which is a solution. So this your product which is the solution, your strategies now, it's becoming reality. by validating them. Then you now start coding it. Once it is coded by your engineering team, it is tested by your QA team, then shipped out. Once it is shipped out, like I said, your work doesn't is not completed after launch. There should be an after launch. Once you launch, there should be an after launch, which is the monitoring side of things. So now you start monitoring. Another one is the coordinated execution of product plans to build. So look at product execution and delivery as coordinated efforts of your product plan to build it, to test it, and to ship it out. You ship working, you ship the feature out, and you keep monitoring and working on product increment. And that's why you start iterating. Oh, you ship out your snapbook now. People say, oh, they would rather prefer to upload documents. You start iterating, you weigh those options and start iterating all of this. So that's about product delivery. Any question before we move on? So why product delivery matters? First, product delivery ensures users actually receive value. Now, your delivery ensures that your customers are getting value for their money. They are getting value for the resources, for the time. Another thing is features don't break existing system. Your product delivery, especially for an already shipped, already launched products now, you don't say because you want to add a food order, a food order feature to your snapbook functionality or your snapbook product. You now end up breaking that option of uploading. So when you do this, you don't break, you ensure your product delivery ensures that features don't break existing one. Let's take WhatsApp for instance now. When WhatsApp started having communities, because they shipped out community feature, does not mean the status feature should crash, or because they started accepting resharing feature now, the what's it called feature, the the reacting to somebody's status should now crash. One feature does not affect the other. So always ensure that things don't break. It is your work as product managers to ensure things will always break, but when things break, get it fixed before you ship it out. That's why in development, depending on the organization, but there are two very important environments, which is the sandbox environment and the production environment. Most people call the sandbox environment test environment, is still the same thing. They call production environment life environment, is still the same thing. Now, some will even go as far as having staging environment. The staging environment, most what's it called? Call it the test environment. It's the development environment. That's where the developers test all of their codes. Then they push it to test, the test environment, which you as a product manager, as a QA, now test. And when you are certified that this thing works well, that's when they now ship it to the production, which is the live environment. Now, that's the only way you can ensure that features don't break, because features will always break. When you introduce new features, another one might break, but possibility of breaking is very high. The chances are very high. And that's why you have your QA team. And you yourself, you are even doing the work of a QA team. You are wearing so many hats. Now you test. When you test, you see that this thing has broken. You are testing it on the test environment. You are able to figure it out on the test environment. And once it is worked on the test environment, they push their code to production. This way, the future will not break because it has been tested. And that's why you see all these big companies. It's very hard for you to like start seeing bugs, for instance, WhatsApp, Instagram, because they have a strong, really strong team. They have a very strong QA team, for instance. So they test everything. All these errors would have been cited in their test environment first. So it will be very hard before you can see what's it called? Before you can cite bugs on all of this kind of products. So it's very important that you ensure that because you're introducing one feature, it doesn't break another. Breaking is not evitable. So but it is your job, even when you cannot test, supervise your QA team such that they are able to test and figure out all of those things on time. Then the team learn from real usage. So product delivery helps the team to learn from the real usage of the products, the features. So when you deliver, you're able to learn from how people are using the platform. And that is when, as time goes on, when you start advancing your product management skill and start learning product management as the business analytics part of things. So when you start, not now, not now, yeah, not now. So when you start advancing, trying to use Google Analytics, trying to use, you set up Google Analytics for your platform so that you know, okay, how many people are coming in, what are the type of people that uses your platform, where do they interact most, is it the sign up feature, is it, so you're able to see all of this, you set it up. There's mixed panel, you can use mixed panel for it as well. So when you advance that skills and you start adding that, you are able to really get, you are able to learn from real usage because your users now are real users. So product, you are delivering it to your real users and you're able to learn from them. So you also see the business also sees impact. You see the impact, whether positive or negatively. Product delivery will help you to see these impacts, and that's why it matters. So without a good delivery, always know that future will stay unused. So if you are very poor when it comes to delivering your products, now features will just be there. People will not use your features. You'll not even be able to ship out your features because your feature will be at execution stage and not deliver to the real users. Launches will fail. Launches fail when they are not when you don't have a good delivery. Launching will fail because launching is your delivery, is part of your delivery process. Customers trust to drop. Your customers trust to drop. Imagine you are saying that you are building an application now. You now wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Join our waiting list. You have already filled form for 5 6 months. Nothing is dropping. Their trust to drop. Like I was scrolling, I saw somebody build an application, a a dating application. He said he has built it according to him. So he said he's going to be launching it in the month of law, or what's it called? Month of February, which is the month of law. So he now dropped the link that people should join the waiting list. That the month of February is going to be releasing the application. So that is for Christian, is the Christian dating app for a particular religion you get. So you don't have to like, okay, you're finding it difficult to marry from your religion, from your church. So it's now bringing people from the same church together. So imagine people now go to the link now and join the waiting list with expectation that it's going to launch it as they have said in February. And February comes, nothing happen. March comes, no delivery. So that is going to launch it is the product delivery. So if he doesn't deliver that product in that February, they can even still hope and give him like, okay, let's see March, April. If nothing comes up, customers trust will drop. You see those potential customers that want to use the platform, their trust will drop. That we you've lifted our spirit so much, like it's an anxiety. The way you even advertised it on TikTok, like wow. So for you, for that product to scale, for the product, if there is no good delivery for that kind of product, customers what's it called, trust will definitely drop. So key activities in product delivery, what are the things that you need to do when it comes to product delivery now? First, the future release and deployment. Yeah, there has to be future release. You have to deploy your features. You have 10 features you want to deliver to first. You need to release the feature. Delivery is releasing feature. You release it and you deploy it to your production environment for your real users to be able to use it. So our product delivery doesn't stop at launch. Post launch, product delivery continues. If you want your product to develop, you need to be thinking outside the bracket. Like, you need to be adding new features. So like, if you are building any product at all, your product should be sustainable, it should be scalable as well. Look at products that are everyday applications, big product that people use, like WhatsApp. I keep using WhatsApp as an example. They don't need to wait till customers start telling them that use this feature, abi give us this feature. They keep shipping features. Like, hardly will you, I don't know, except maybe when they just started though, hardly will you go by in a year and you not have at least two new features on WhatsApp. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, they will always ship out features. They will always, what you don't even ask for, before you know it, WhatsApp can now do this, WhatsApp can now do that. So you need to keep shipping out features, release features, deploy features to users. Make make the product usable for them. Let them not get bored. Imagine you have a product, all the products does for the in the last 1 to 3 years is the same thing. At times you get bored of it because you already know that this is what it does. You're tired, you need something new. How many of you know that what's it called, LinkedIn has game? How many? Any idea that LinkedIn has games?
Yes, I play them almost every day.
Abraham. Oshe? Okay. Aside Abraham, who else knows and plays their games? No one. Do we even have LinkedIn? Everybody on this call, are we on LinkedIn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, it's very important that we are on LinkedIn. It gives us this professional visibility. So yeah, it's amazing. I got to know about it, I think late last year. I say, LinkedIn has what's it called? Has game features. Hey, this is interesting. So like, they'll not say okay because people are using it, they'll not forget about putting in new features. No. I think there was a time, I don't know, maybe they later had the feature, but I think I saw it. I don't know, maybe the feature was already implemented as at then. That they said they want to have, since LinkedIn is a professional app, then they want to have a feature like, it's still going to be on it to like, it's not going to be, it's like something like dating, like meeting the social LinkedIn side now. Like, if you are looking for a partner, you are able to connect. I don't know if they were able to do the future oh, but I think I saw it, is it last 2 years or there, but I come across the post about it. I don't know if they were able to do that, which I'm not sure of. So you need to start looking for futures. You need to start shipping futures. There's no way you want to have a product, you know, to, because everybody is using my product, you go and relax. That's the structure. So you need to ensure that you release and deploy features consistently. Then rollout planning. Do you know that there is, when you anyways, let me start with, when you talk about rollout planning, your rollout planning is when you deploy a feature, you make it available for some certain persons. certain regions, certain geography, depending. Do you believe that features that WhatsApp are shipping out is not all the time? They don't ship it out like, how do I put it, all the countries now. Some point they can ship out features that are for UK users alone to use. Then when they see the usability of that feature, they now start deploying to other countries. So they don't just roll out their feature pew across everyone, every countries. So they do a rollout planning. Okay, let's do these features first. Let's take like a sample audience, roll out this feature for them. So that's rollout planning. You roll out your plan like, okay, for this feature you want to release, do you want to release it for all your users? Do you want to make it an enclosed group? So when it comes to product delivery, that's one of the activities in product delivery. Then there is monitoring performance and error. So for instance, when you do your rollout plan, there's usually you monitor the performance closely. That's the essence. You monitor your performance very closely. How is that feature doing? How are people interfering with this? Is there any support tickets? Are there complaints? So you monitor closely. So monitoring performance and errors are also part of the activities in product delivery. Then collecting users feedback, there are so many ways you can collect your users feedback, so it's also one of the activities in product delivery. Once your product is shipped, you collect feedback helps you to iterate improvement. Then yes, after collecting your feedback, you make improvement after launch. That's why you have version 2, version 3, version 4, just like that. Even after you have launched, you are still iterating improvement. Before, your sign up only allows email, you want to allow phone number, so you iterate another improvement that allows for phone number. So you keep iterating. So delivery does not stop at launch. That's one thing you should know. You should not say, because I've delivered, and delivery has to do with bringing your features to the real users now. So because you brought your features to the real users, you want to stop? No, it doesn't stop at launch. There's always the post launch. Wait for customers feedback. Don't even wait for them, get their feedback, interview them, send surveys. So get their feedback, implement their feedback where necessary, monitor the performance and also errors. Is someone saying something? Okay, any question based on this before we proceed? Okay, the data model mark there is on. Alright, moving on. Let's move on to our product delivery life cycle. So when we talk about product delivery life cycle, we have the first one, which the feature is completed. Once your engineers have worked on the feature and it's completed, it has been tested, completed, that's one. Another one is you now review the feature that they said, I'm done with feature, sign up and send money. Your job is now to like, okay, review and approve. You need to validate what they have done. Oh, is this feature truly completed using your definition of done as talked about? So you now review. Once your definition of done is met, your criteria are met, you approve. Then you now release to users. You release it to the users. Then you now start monitoring it in production. Since you have released to the real user, you start monitoring how how is this product faring? How are people interacting with it? Are they finding it difficult to use this product? Are there specific complaints that they are complaining about? how many persons are dropping off while trying to sign up using those products. Is the product usable, easy to easy to interact with? Is it user friendly? Is it a no brainer? You are monitoring the behavior of that product in production. Then also feedback, you collect feedback. Okay, customers are dropping off because the onboarding requirements are too much, or customers cannot sign up because uh they are asking users to create username, and most of the username they create has already been taken, making the process strenuous for the users. Impatient users will leave the app when you're asking so much information, or you are stressing them too much, so they will leave the app. So you collect your feedback, and also you improved your improvement plan. Now you collected your feedback, you have like 200 feedbacks on a particular product. You streamline them to, okay, this, which one is more important at this point in time. And when you are streamlining, when you are prioritizing, you look at what's the value, what's the value that the customer, the users are going to get in return. Then you also look at the effort. We've talked about value versus effort in our prioritization technique. Now you look at, okay, this particular feature is going to be high effort with low impact, or high effort, high impact. This one is low effort, high impact. And can somebody assist us with what the conclusion is when it comes to value versus effort that we talked about? Which one should you ideally go for first? Help with the first one, the second one, and the third one. High impact, low value, low impact, high value, medium impact, high value. I believe you remember. Do you remember under prioritization? Anyone? Anyone still remembers that? Who can help? It's under prioritization. When we talked about Moscow Kano theory, now talked about value and impact. So who is helping? I'm waiting for us. I'll wait till I see someone that will help us with this.
Ma, please, what's the question again?
Under prioritization technique, so what's the ideal way, or what's the what's the order in which you should prioritize your features under value versus impact? Where I mentioned that you might have high value, low impact, low value, high impact, medium value, high impact. We have medium, low, and high for both value and impact. So which one is the ideal way to prioritize things using value versus impact model? Do we understand that? Let me know if you understand the question, because there's no way we can answer if we don't understand the question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so who's going to help us?
I think high value, low effort.
Okay, that's your number one. Number two.
Then high value medium efforts.
Okay.
High value low effort, high efforts. Then
Okay.
low value low efforts. No, abi. Low value low efforts. Low value medium efforts. Then lastly, low value high efforts.
Correct. You're very right, Adedamola. That's how it should be. Look at the value. I told us that value is what your users, your clients, your customers are going to get in return. Efforts are the efforts, the time that your engineering team is going to use to build that product. So ideally, it's self-explanatory. Ideally, what should you go for? You are the product manager. You are using value versus impact. So ideally, you go for the high value, the one that gives the customer highest value at a very low effort. That means it doesn't take your engineering team time to do. But at the end of the day, it gives high value to the customer. So that is an awesome. That's the first thing first. Then the second one, okay, high value, medium effort. Go for it since the value is high, the effort is medium. Why not? Then high value, high effort. And I mentioned this in that class that we did, that when it is high value, high effort, you need to plan. You need to weigh your options. You need to plan. Do you really want to go for it at this point in time? Because it's high effort. Are there no other things that you could actually do? So you need to plan it because it's going to be high effort. And because of that high value there, you go for it. Then you go for low value, low effort. Those ones should be something you use as, how do I put it now? Maybe you are having a blocker with your high value medium effort or high value high effort now. You just use them as cover up fixes. Like, okay, instead of while you are waiting for time, there is a blocker already. So you just go to that your low impact, low value, and just go and fix it up. So these things are very important for us because those are the only way that we can prioritize very well. So now I want to ask us this question. When it comes to prioritization, we have the Moscow theory, Kano theory, we have the value versus impact. Now, they are value versus effort. Now, this value versus effort and the Moscow theory, we know what Moscow is, the must have, the should have, the could have, the not to have feature. Now, which of them would you prefer as a product manager trying to prioritize your future? The Moscow theory or the value versus effort? Anyone? Anyone at all? Do you understand the question?
I would prefer
You said
I would prefer Moscow theory
why Moscow theory?
because um to me it states clearly all the features and how they are segmented into not segmented the features that must be in the app, the one that should be there and one that won't be there at the moment. So for Moscow it states clearly all of them. For the other one that the efforts versus impact might be subjective sometimes. Some people might say, okay, the effort should be high, but the impact should be low. All of those things.
Hmm.
That's just for me.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I got you. Makes sense. For me too, I do Moscow. I prefer Moscow though. Okay, I'll come back to that. But any other person that wants to try? Okay. Now, what if your must have now? You are using Moscow, but inside your must have that you you are working on, or inside of your must have futures now, the value is very low. What can you say about that? You said you prefer Moscow, yes, rather than value, because also will have the must have. You agree with me that you still most some must have, not most now, are still subjective. The values are nothing, like they're just of low value, but they are must have features. So what do you do in this kind of scenario?
Okay, so if if it has been agreed before that a feature must be in the app before it can be viable for use, there's no way, even if the value is low, it has to be there. That's my own opinion, though. If if we have agreed that a feature must be in an app, even if the value is zero, it still has to be there for it to be viable. I
Hmm.
think that's the meaning of the must have, right?
Okay, yeah, I got it. For me, yeah,
Yeah.
no. For the must have features, those are features that your application, your product must have. Now, when it now comes to value and impact now, I feel these two as product managers, you just don't have to be so comfortable with one what will I call it now? With one framework when it comes to your prioritization. Value versus effort also complements in this case. So when you have your Moscow, it's very, very important that you have a Moscow. And me, I prefer to use Moscow very well. So when you have your must have, these are things that your product must have so that it's viable to the public. Your effort and impact should also come in place. Both of them should be used hand in hand. Evaluate your must have features. Okay, these are your must have logins, sign up, this, that. Okay, this is low effort. This is high effort but low impact. Now look at what the value that the customer is going to get for it. If the value is very high, but if the value is not very, very low, the value is low but it is a must have. Yes, it's advisable that you can do it, but not at that point in time. You can just leave it for your version 2 and focus more on the one that will give you value, because these days most people are looking for what will bring them money, like what they get value for immediately, what they get value for. Like they're looking at now, they're not looking at okay in the next 10 years, in the next, they're looking at what can fetch them that value that they need at that point in time. So as you are using your Moscow theory, always use your value versus what's it called, effort, to also look at it that okay, this is a must have, but what is the value, what effort? So you have to weigh it. Both of them should kind of work hand in hand together. I don't know if you get it.
Yeah, but I still want to clarify something. So if we are talking about agile and trying to deliver value quickly to the business, right? Is it possible for a must-have feature to have a low value? I'm just wondering because if it has to be there, then the value has to be high.
So if it has
Just
to be,
want to.
yeah, it depends. It depends on the kind of mustard. It
Okay.
depends on the kind of mustard. Your mustard by might be must have for you, but not really must have for the customer. What will really deliver value? Okay, let's look at product first. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out an example now. An example. Let's use a banking app. Let's use a banking app. Okay, well, I don't know, but yeah, I think I'm sure since I started using OPay, immediately you input, immediately you say you are transferring to other banks and you input the account number. There is this bank suggestions that comes to play, right? Is that from the beginning when they launched OPay? Or was there an added feature later?
I don't know, but I think for GT Bank, I don't use those. For GT Bank, it was an added feature later. But it's on GT Bank app too.
Okay. So now OPay, okay, let's assume that was their first version, that their first version has that. Now for them, that's a must have for them. That okay, as customer is typing, once customer is done typing the account number, the bank should be suggested. In the case of Kuda, that was not their own must have. Their must have is okay, customer should be able to send money, put the account details, then go and in fact select the bank, yes, select the bank first, yes, select the bank first, then put the account details, which we have common with most of our commercial banks. But as time goes on, recently, that was this year, I noticed that Kuda now has bank suggestion and you don't even need to pick the bank first. Just say you are sending to other banks, type the account number, then the bank will be suggested. So that is their own new add-on feature. However, for Opay now, their own product roadmap is different. Their must-have was like, oh, okay, immediately you are inputting your account details. Let let the bank let the bank be there. So it varies. You can prioritize your own as you want this feature in an agile environment to be your must have. But your must have is not necessarily something that truly add values to the customer at that point in time. It might add value later. It can be like an add-on that, oh, okay, it's something that can later make life easy or the application easier or like a unique selling point. It can be like a unique selling point for them, but the value is low. So you can classify it under your must have, but if you use your value and impact and effort now, there's value and effort, impact too. If you use your value and effort to now measure it, for this must have feature, is it really a must have? Some must have features that we categorize as must have might even be a could have feature. So in that case where that effort is like could have, when this thing is like a could have, then you can just trade it off for value versus impact, something that add value immediately to the customer. Aside, except if it is your core functionality, and your core functionality is you want to be the banking app, send money is your core functionality. So if it is not your core functionality, there are some other things that you might think that your application should have, but you can say okay, must have is a two-factor authentication. It's not really a must have. It's like a could have. So you can use like the value and the impact, the efforts in this place to try to like okay quantify it. Do I really need to do this at this point in time? All I'm just saying is both of them, if you look at it, most must have, like you said, but in the most must have, efforts abi value are usually high. But I'm now talking about in the case where it's rare though, in the case where you now have a low value for a must have, then you might need to reconsider depending on that future. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, any other person? Okay, let's move on so that we can complete this and see if we can take one PRD assignment today. Where are we? I think so. You monitor in production, you get your feedback, you improve. So this creates a continuous learning loop. So you keep repeating the process, you keep learning, you keep iterating your product for improvement. That's for your product delivery life cycle. Then, what are your delivery metrics? How do you measure your delivery? If successful, failed, average. First one is the common delivery metrics include lead time. That's what's the time of when you said I want to build this app, the idea, to when you finally deliver. You agree with me that there are some products that has been in the ideation stage for the past couple of years. They are still in the ideation stage. So you need to also look at your time from that point where you say you have an idea to when you are able to deliver to the market. So it's very, very important that you look at the time. Then your deployment frequency. It's it's all about you trying to say, okay, I want to build all my features, and that's why it doesn't work in an agile environment. In an agile environment, you release in small pieces. So from the last time you launched to the market, or from the last time you did a new deployment, I mean you gave your last deployment to now, how many, what's the space, what's the frequency at which you keep having new versions of that product? So that also helps you to measure your delivery rate. Another one is the failure rate. The failure rate that you had, especially when you first launch your version 1 to this moment, what's the failure rate like? Another one is the mean time to recovery. For instance, now you have what kind of, what's it called, can I put this now, system downtimes, system outage. How long does it take you to recover? You see some systems can be down for days, weeks. So it's also important that you look at your recovery time. How fast are you able to quickly rectify issues, recover back to normal? Not like on 1 week, 2 weeks, you are still under, what's it called, you're still trying to sort out what the problem is, leaving customers stranded. So it shows how reliable and fast your delivery is. So that's the only metrics that you can use to like measure how you are faring in the market. Uptime, what's your uptime? What's the failure rate? How often do you chip out new features, deploy new features? From your ideation to your release stage, how long does it take you? All of these things helps you to track if your delivery is successful, or if your delivery is good, poor, bad, or on an average. So let's look at the difference between execution and delivery now. When we talk about execution is you trying to build the future, while delivery is you are releasing the future. So there's difference between building and releasing. Releasing means you are done building the future. So you are releasing it to your real customers. Another one is it happens inside a team. Product execution is usually in your team. You don't carry it out. It's inside your team. If you are testing, you are doing anything, it's usually within your team. But product delivery happens with real users. So you deliver to real users, not inside your team. Then execution focuses on tasks. Execution will be you need to work on sign up, we need to do an upload feature, we need to work on a reset password feature. So they are usually tasks. You put it down in the form of tasks. But delivery focuses on outcome, the sign up that we have built, how What's the outcome? Are people able to sign up seamlessly? Are people able to recover their passwords? What's the failure rate like when trying to recover passwords? So you look at the outcome here rather than the task. The task has been done. So it's for you to now see the outcome to measure if that task was truly successful. Product execution ends with feature is done, while product delivery continues after launch. Once your feature is done, your execution has finished. Once you say done, sign up feature done, execution has finished. You said done, QA has confirmed it as done, execution ends. But delivery, even when you launch, when you deliver to the plate of the real users, you are still there trying to look at the outcome, look at the feedback, trying to iterate. So delivery will even enhance execution to continue, because when you get your delivery, outcome of your delivery now is like, oh, okay, for this feature sign up, do a modification, and a new execution life cycle will begin when a delivery life cycle continues. So once an execution lifespan or life cycle ends, delivery will trigger another one to start. Delivery triggers another to start. Okay, so yeah, we have gradually come to the end of our prayer delivery and execution. So which one is harder? Which one do you think is harder? Is it execution or delivery? And what happens if one is strong and the other is weak? If execution is strong and delivery is weak, or if delivery is strong and execution is weak? So who's helping us? Which one is, let's start with which one is harder first. I'm waiting. Abraham, Martha, Babatunde, Tofumi, Adedamola. Anyone?
I think execution is harder.
Execution is harder.
Yeah, because that's like when the old product features are determined. That's when that's when everything is built. So I think it's harder.
Hmm.
And it take like more time compared to the fact that compared to delivery. Because delivery once the product is done, like there are no the technical issues will not be as much as when building the product. So just like monitor progress and see what's going on, fix bugs if there are any, and just like iterate the product.
Okay, thank you very much, Adedamola. I can see our comments in the chat box saying execution is harder because the bulk of the tax is on bringing the idea to limelight. Okay. Thanks, Babasimi and Mata. So, well, since everybody's agreeing that execution is harder, Abraham, well, I agree with you how the execution is harder because that's where the major work lies. It is, if execution is not done, then there will be no delivery. Execution is very important and it's what facilitates the delivery process. So yeah, Execution is a bit harder compared to when you're delivering. So what happens if execution is weak and your delivery is strong? What do you think will happen? Your execution is weak and your delivery is strong, or your delivery is weak but your execution is strong. What will happen? Anyone?
So I think if execution is weak, it's going to affect the product. So and automatically, if execution is weak, that means the delivery is going to be more delivery is going to be more strenuous, more exhausting, because they have to like fix the issues. Because definitely, if the execution is poor, there'll be a lot of bugs, there'll be a lot of things to fix. So yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Adedamula. Who else is helping out? Any other person? Who else is helping? Okay. We don't want to talk. Okay, if execution is weak and delivery is strong, the product will not come out the way it's initially meant to be. So if the execution is weak, mm, yes. Yeah, you're right, madam. So now, when execution, let's start with the execution. When execution is weak, meaning you ask your engineer to build sign up for you, and the sign up that they build, for instance, is weak in the sense that even when you have not signed up, you can log into the system, and your delivery is strong. Like you've done a lot of how will I put this now? Marketing, your marketing team are there. They've done a lot of marketing, trying to bring your execution into delivery to the real users. You have a lot of bugs like Adidamula said. You just end up fixing from one problem to another. As you are fixing this, you'll be fixing that, you'll be fixing this, you'll be fixing that. So it will not your customers would uh they will lose trust, and that's what took us to I'll take us back to this particular place now. When you're first of all trying, so poor execution now, there will be delays, there will be a lot of rework, there will be the team will be frustrated, not just the team, even customers. That's why you will have broken user experience if execution is very poor. So this is what you will get in return if your execution is not strong. And if your delivery is not strong, this is what you will get. Your features will stay unused. The features will just be there, nobody to use it. Your launching will fail, you fail to push to the market. Then customers trust will drop overnight. Talked about the application that was coming out in February. The trust will drop because they will not be like, you talk, you will not do. It's not like talk and do. So the expectation will drop drastically. So yeah, it's very important that whenever you are You are doing your product execution and delivery, ensure your execution is good enough, very strong, so that it will even help your delivery. You will not have to do much work when you deliver. So a very good and strong execution will definitely help your delivery. It definitely help your delivery. So yeah, we've come to the end of product delivery and execution. Let me know if you have any question. Then we'll go to the assignment I gave yesterday. After which we will now treat Babatunde's PRD since he's on the call today. Babatunde, please can you drop your assignment again so that we can review? But before then, questions, reactions, and answers and contributions. All right, soon, Babatunde, thank you. Questions? Okay, let me quickly go to the assignment of yesterday. Give me a minute, let me fetch it out so that we can do it before our next last sheet. Okay, so I want to switch the tab I'm sharing now. Please confirm that my screen has changed to a Word document.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So yesterday's assignment, this is it. I said pick a product. When I say pick a product, it can be new, it can be existing. You don't even have to stress yourself. You can pick from the list that you've used before, your previously used products. So now, this is a campus pre-order application. It's a mobile app that allows university students to pre-order meals and from campus cafeteria to avoid long queues. Now, I said the problem statement. What exactly is the problem? The problem statement is university students often miss their meals or waste time waiting in long cafeteria queues, especially during peak hours, which leads to frustration, lateness for classes, and poor meal planning. So that's the problem statement. That's the problem that you saw, and you wanted to solve it by building a product. Now, who are going to be your target users? Your primary users are going to be the university students age 18 to 30 who eat on campus. You need to specify those that eat on campus. Not everybody eats on campus. Some persons prefer homemade meals or off campus, eating off campus. Then another one says the secondary users is food vendors that are managing high traffic, especially during peak hours. That's the cafeteria in schools, the cafeterias in schools now. Now, your top three assumption is number one, you're assuming that students are willing to pre-order food to save time. So it's one thing for you to say, okay, these people like to eat on campus, but are you even sure they want to pre-order? Some might even like to see what they want to buy, pay for it before they pay for it. So your assumption for you to want to build this application is you are assuming that students would be willing to pre-order meals to save their time. Another one will be students are comfortable paying digitally for campus food. Where I mentioned, we've looked at this before, where I was like, okay, how many of you prefer to pay on the go or you pay before digitally? So that's another assumption that you've made. Then the cafeteria vendors can prepare meal. What if they are not willing to prepare meal ahead of the pickup time? So those are your basic three assumptions which you need to validate. Now your the discovery method now will now be like you interviewing, you can send your surveys out, you can do observation of the cafeterias during the peak hours, you can do a simple survey asking students about uh, their time, about wasting time and their food habits. So it's another thing you can do for your discovery. Then your validation approach, how are you validating your approach now? It's either you click you build a prototype, you can run a pilot with one of the cafeteria for 1 week, you can measure the number of pre-orders, you can you look at the number of repeat usage, you can get customers feedback on convenience. Then the go to and the no go decision, that go means you are going for this, no go you are not. So go if at least 25-50% of the pilot users repeat their orders, that means proceed to build this thing. Users report reduce waiting time. So if they report e report to you that waiting time is reduced, that means you are solving the right problem, go for it. If the cafeteria staff confirm smoother operation, that at least now they don't have long queues again, the operations are coming smooth, go for it. Don't go for it if there are low adoptions or repeat usage. People are not repeating their orders, many people are not signing up on the platform, vendors are struggling to fulfill pre-orders, users prefer to walk in to get their order. So this is basically it, and I've shared with us before and I'll be sharing it again. So it's for us to do our yesterday assignment. So let me share this template with okay. So that's the template. All right, so that's it. Any question before we move to the PRD assignment, please? Any question? So we are clear now. We don't have excuse for not doing the assignment.
No, ma.
Know that we are not clear.
Yes, ma.
Okay, let me know which part you
It's
are.
clear, ma.
Okay, still all right. All right. Thank you. So I'll go to the PR. Since no other person is talking, that means we are all clear. Let me go to the PRD assignment. Coming, I'm going to share the tab now. Okay, so our assignment is on tab 2. All right. Okay, so I'll be sharing this tab instead. Can we confirm that my tab has changed? My yeah, my screen has changed to assignments. Okay. Okay, Martha, you sent yours to you. Okay, no problem. We'll check. So this is the protocol. This is the way we review PRD assignments. PRD assignments. The author will be the one to, like, it's explain this to us. So look at us as your engineers, look at us as your QA, as your product designers. So you are the PM here. So you want to explain your PRD to us. So please proceed to let us know what you've written. So I can help you share the screen by scrolling. Wherever that you have the floor. Is the Watson on the call? Oh, okay, 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 okay. That's fine. Just let me know ahead when you'll be able to call, so that you can. Yeah, that's how we do. You said that that's how we do our PRD review. Then we'll now start criticizing questions and all that. Okay, let's go for Martha. Martha, please drop yours. Let's review yours. Drop it on the group chat so that I can help you to share your screen. I'm looking out for it now. Martha, Martha. Martha, let me know if you have dropped it. Though. I'm not seeing anything. I'm only seeing Masulizo. Martha, are you on the call? Oh, okay. Okay. That means we'll not be able to review any of your PR this day because yeah, the way we have it, you have to be the one to explain what you've written to us. But yeah, that's fine, no problem. But let me just quickly with the one I'm sharing. Let me just skim through. It's not like I'm not explaining it to the team. They will come and explain it later. But let me skim through and see document. Marcus dashboard. Hmm. So, Babatunde, your name is Product Team, abi? So this should be the name of the product manager. Okay. So look at this header class. What is wrong with this header from the header to this place to the status? Can somebody figure out what is missing here? I don't know, it's something really missing. Okay, okay, okay. Nothing is missing. I can see what I'm looking for now. Okay. Hmm. Okay. This is awesome. But let's not stop first. Wait, see, Babasunde can demo this. Martha, can you please drop the link to your own assignment, please? The PRG. Let's quickly skim through as well. Okay. All right. So for those of us that have earlier reviewed our PRD and we have modified it, let me know. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Damola, have you modified your PRD? I remember Tofume too. Have you modified it?
Not yet, ma. But I'll do it today.
Okay, Tofume. And it's not for me even able to hear us now because said she wasn't hearing us.
So I can hear you now.
Okay, and what happened to your voice? Did you go to VG?
Oh no, I don't know.
Hey, sorry, it is well. No wonder you will keep it quiet. She doesn't want us to hear her voice. No wonder. No wonder she doesn't want us to know that she has a cracked voice. Sorry about that. Hmm. Okay, that's fine. But in Babatunde's assignment, I can see that he wrote the user story. I hope he has not gotten all our feedback and inculcated it in his PRG. Let me see the last. Oh, okay. This was by me. Okay, I've looked at because this is just looking like I'm seeing the user story, the acceptance criteria. Hmm. Though I can see a little bit of AI here. Hmm. You come and explain yourself later. Makes sense though. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, that's good picture. Makes sense. Makes sense. Aidamola, you said you've done the assignment of yesterday. Can you share with us, please? Drop the link.
But I just thought that I didn't add some things
Oh,
from the templates that you sent to us.
oh, okay, that's fine, no problem. Hmm. Primary users, elderly people, medical maintenance, Medicare. I don't know why it's. Mm, okay, what's the medic- So you need to also look at your alignment when you're writing document. Customer support agent will be the first. Customer support agent, okay. Mhm. Functional requirement, assign category. as a user. Okay, this makes sense. Understand my health status, blood pressure. Yeah, makes sense. Another thing, does it have okay dependency? Availability of engineering resources, third party APIs, okay. Yeah, yes, okay. He has the design reference there. Project forecasting, open social. Hmm, makes sense. Any critics on this PRD so far? Any critics at all? Any question on this PRD? Is there anything we noticed that is not on this PRD? Let me look at his non-functional requirement. The speed, okay. Dashboard should open as fast as possible. Dashboard should be the landing page, I guess. Why is this one number 4 again? This should be 5 now. Now, why does it have to bold in every of his words? This is a document. Should be normal write up now. Okay, I don't know why it's bolding it. Let me just. Mm-hmm. And number it well. Because since all these document, all the wordings are bolding. So, why were you bolding almost all your documents? Bolding. So it's not proper that you bolding everything. Why bolding comments? Why bolding every the anything? Okay. Martha, you didn't drop your assignment link for us. Abi? Wait, is this Martha? Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think I'm seeing it here, sorry. Okay, so team, I'll be sharing Martha's assignments now. Share this tab. Okay. Okay, so this is it. Internet solution provider. Hmm, okay. Digital internet solution and everything. Team, can you figure out what is wrong here on this product feature name? Um, Hmm. Martha will need to come and explain this thing to us. So, because here now, you are not specifying the future, the exact future you are building here is not being specified. Comments. Level comment. Okay. Let me change my login. So much I've requested access so that I can add my comments. So please do well to grant that. Your future is not specified here. Hmm. Your functional requirement. Hmm. You listed your functional requirements. You still tabulated it here. Consider selectivity monitoring. Consider internet monitoring. Real-time outage. Performance running. Okay, this is the one. Non-functional requirement. Timeline. Dependencies. Out of scopes. Open questions. Hmm. Well, I'm seeing a lot here, but I will allow you when you two are free to come and explain the PRD. But that's fine, no problem. Any question from anyone? Anything that is not clear? So I will share. Let me share this slide. Let me share this slide with us for today. Then for the recording, I will share. That means I'm only not still recordings. I'll share that hopefully before the close of the day. Let me let me share the slide here. With the link. So that's the link to the slide. Okay, that's fine. In absence of any questions or anything, we can end the section. Thanks everyone. Next class will be communicated to us via WhatsApp. Do enjoy the rest of the day, class. Bye everyone.